What if I told you that a tiny, almost invisible signal from your heart is telling a story about your health, your stress, and your resilience every single day? Let's dive into what that signal is and what it means for you. So it all starts with this really surprising fact. We tend to think that a steady, perfectly regular heartbeat is the ideal, right? But the science actually shows us that the healthiest hearts have this subtle, constant irregularity. Okay, here's what that looks like in practice. On the left, you've got that perfect metronome-like rhythm, beat, beat, beat. But on the right, that is what a healthy, adaptable heart's rhythm looks like. Just notice how the time between each beat is always changing, just a little. That tiny variation, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. So what is this healthy irregularity? And more importantly, why is it actually a sign of strength? Well, this is heart rate variability, or HRV. It's not about how fast your heart is beating. It's about the very precise measurement of those tiny time gaps between each and every one of those beats. This slide really breaks down that key difference. Heart rate, that's just your average beats per minute, but HRV looks so much closer, measuring the tiny millisecond level changes from one beat to the next. You can have the exact same heart rate on 2 different days, but a completely different HRV, which tells a much, much deeper story about what your body's actually going through. So where does this variability even come from? Well, it turns out it's a direct reflection of a constant, invisible battle happening inside you right now. You see, HRV gives us this incredible window into your autonomic nervous system. Think of this as your body's autopilot. It runs everything in the background, your breathing, your digestion, your heart rate, all without you ever having to think about it. Now, this system has 2 main branches that are kind of opposites. You've got the sympathetic branch, that's your fight or flight system. It's the gas pedal. It speeds you up when you're stressed or working out. And then you have the parasympathetic branch, your rest and digest system. That's the brake, slowing things down and helping you recover. Just imagine these 2 systems in a constant tug of war. When stress hits and your fight or flight gas pedal is floored, your heart rhythm gets more rigid, more metronome-like, and your HRV drops. But when you're relaxed and that rest and digest brake is on, your heart has more room to be flexible and your HRV rises. So really, HRV is just the score of this internal match. Okay, so a high HRV means your rest and digest system is in control. But why does that matter for your overall health? Why is a flexible nervous system a resilient one? It all comes down to this really simple but powerful idea. A system that can vary its response is a system that can adapt to new challenges, whether that's a tough workout, a stressful meeting, or even fighting off an illness. And the science backs this up. A healthy, higher HRV is consistently linked to a whole host of good things. Better cardiovascular health, a stronger immune system, greater emotional resilience, and just being able to bounce back faster from physical or mental stress. On the flip side, a chronically low HRV suggests that the system is kind of stuck in that fight or flight mode. This rigidity is a sign the body is under a heavy, constant load, and it's linked to things like higher inflammation and just not being able to handle stress as well. This all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually mean when you see your own HRV numbers on a watch or a fitness tracker? So you open your app, you see a number. What is it actually trying to tell you? Okay, this is probably the single most important takeaway. Don't get hung up on one day's score. HRV is incredibly individual. What's a high number for you might be low for someone else. The real insight comes from watching your own personal baseline and just seeing how it trends over weeks and months. And your number is definitely going to fluctuate day to day. It's a super sensitive metric that responds to everything. How well you slept last night, a stressful day at work, a hard workout, what you ate, even if you had just one drink. It's a snapshot of your body's total load. So let's bring all this together. What's the bottom line? Now, before we wrap up, there's one really important little detail. While a healthy, adaptable system usually has a higher HRV, an extremely high or totally erratic number isn't the goal. In some rare clinical situations, that could be a sign of a heart condition, which is why your personal trend and the context are always the most important things. So here are the 3 things to remember. Number 1, variability equals resilience. That irregular heartbeat shows your nervous system is ready to adapt. 2, it's a signal. HRV reflects the total load your body is dealing with, from stress to recovery. And 3, focus on your trend. The most powerful insight comes from your own personal baseline over time, not from any single number. Ultimately, HRV isn't just a number on a screen. You can think of it as your body's own unique signature, a rhythm that tells the true story of how well you're adapting to the demands of life itself. This explainer is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice.